Ban on open grazing. Federal government encouraged Miyetti Anla to go to court against southern governors as police divided on implementation. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. The federal government in Sunday threw its weight behind moves by herdsmen to sue southern governors over the anti-open grazing bill they recently signed into law. The Special Assistant Media to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Omar Gwandu, who disclosed this in an interview with The Punch, said Nigerians whose rights had been violated could go to court to seek protection. Gwandu stated this as state police commands on Sunday deferred on the enforcement of the law. While Ebonyi and Osun State Police Command told their correspondent that they would enforce the law, a source in the Lagos State Police Command stated that the police would only provide protection to the enforcement team of the state. The Rivers State Police Commissioner Friday Ebuka on the spot said he had not seen a copy of the state anti-open grazing law. But a top police officer told one of our correspondents that it would be difficult for state command to enforce the law without the support of force headquarters. Most southern states, including Lagos, Ondo, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Abia, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, and just recently Delta and Ogun State, signed the anti-open grazing bill into law. The Miyetti Anla Cocktail Hall Group, while reacting to the passage of a law in the southern state, described it as satanic and politically motivated, adding that it will sue the governors over the law. The National Secretary of the Miyetti Anla Cocktail Hall Group, Seller Al-Hazan, told Sunday Punch, threatening that the group would sue the southern governors. Gwandu, in an interview with one of the correspondents, stated, "The right trample upon our individual rights of Nigerians as constitutionally guaranteed. The Nigerians whose rights are violated reserve the right to approach the court for protection of such rights within the context of freedom of movement, amongst others. It will be viewed with that consideration in mind. Anti-open grazing. We will arrest, prosecute offenders," say Ebonyi State Police. In Ebonyi State, the State Police Command said it will arrest and prosecute violators of anti-open grazing law in the state. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Ali Garba, stated this in a telephone interview with one of our correspondents in Abakaliki on Sunday. When asked if the police would enforce the law, Garba said, "Why not? We will arrest and prosecute offenders. Come with a complaint and see whether it is not going to be attended to." Also, the Ogun State Police Command said that it was ready to implement the anti-open grazing law in the state as soon as possible. The Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, said this in a chat with one of our correspondents in Abeokuta. When asked when the police would begin the implementation, Oyeyemi said we will begin as soon as possible. "We will enforce open grazing prohibition law better than the police," Rivers Vigilante. A popular vigilante group in Rivers State, the Bull Security Service, said it will enforce the law. The chairman of the Diobu Vigilant Prince Amatari, who said during an interview with one of our correspondents, said the group would enforce the law better than the police because of its presence in the rural areas. "We have said that the security architecture should be decentralized because the responsibility of the police is much, and the police have not been able to effectively carry out their duties because the entire nation relies on them. If arrests are made by other security agencies, including the army, they take such persons to the police. I have not seen the law," Rivers CP. When contacted, the State Commissioner of Police Friday Ebuka said, the state government, have not passed the law to us. I have not seen it. Asked if the command was ready to enforce anti-open grazing law in the state, Osun Police Command said as a law enforcers, it was duty-bound to enforce any law made by the government. The spokesperson for the command, Yemisi Okpalola, said police in the state would enforce any law made. She said, "We are law enforcers. Our duty is to enforce the law made by the government. We will enforce any law made by the government in the state." Lagos Police will only provide security for enforcement team. Reacting to the readiness of the police, command in enforcing the anti-open grazing law in Lagos State, a police source said the responsibility of the police was to provide security for the enforcement team established by the state government to enforce the law. There is an enforcement team to be established by the state government to enforce the law, and when the enforcement team is established, the police will provide security during enforcement. The enforcement team is going to be trained and empowered by the state government, and a place like a ranch will also be established to keep the cows until the fine is paid. But the job of the police is to give protection to the enforcement team during enforcement of a law in the state. The enforcement team has not been established. It is when the team is established that enforcement will be in full swing, the source said. Enforcement has begun. Culprits arrested. Ondo Amotekun. Ondo State Command of the Security Network Agency, also known as Amotekun, stated that the enforcement of the state anti-open grazing law had commenced, as some herders and cows had been arrested and dealt with according to the law. The state commander of the corps, Chief Adetunji Adele, said the number of cows and herders had been arrested, and they were made to pay fine and signed an undertaking not to violate the law again. He said after the law had been signed, we arrested over 180 cows, together with some herders. We have a number of herders that have been arrested. We are making them to comply with enacted law, which stipulates penalty for defaulting herders. The provision of the law is that if they choose to go to court, we would implement the law as stated, which stipulates the minimum of 100,000 fine or 3 years imprisonment. I am wowed by this statement. It is satanic and politically motivated. I do not understand when protecting the lives of my citizens or the people like governor became satanic. I do not understand. All of a sudden now, people's human rights are being threatened. All these years when people have been intimidated, marginalized, people have been oppressed, and people have been crying out, it has been falling on deaf ears. All of a sudden, because the anti-open grazing bill was signed into law, now those people are coming to tell us that it is satanic. Wow! And the killing of people is actually angelic. Forgive my sarcasm. The killing of people is angelic, right? While the protection of those people so as not to be in any danger of any killing at all or any harm is satanic. Wow, this should be applauded. Really? The people of Nigeria, can you listen? Can you hear? A region is coming to fight against you or fight against southern governors for protecting their people and signing an anti-open grazing bill into law. And they are saying the southern governors as making a satanic move. All of a sudden, they now remember that the law should take its course. Meanwhile, these people, when they are being caught, after killing women, children, men, after making people orphans, after taking our loved ones away from us, after sending thousands, if not millions, into the IDP centers, what happens? Now they are coming to say that the move to guide, the governors made to guide their people is rather satanic. While their killings, they have not pronounced it as satanic. This is what I call the height of it. This is the height of it. People of Nigeria, I hope you're listening. I hope you're hearing what is going on. Open your eyes and shine your eyes. We will continue to support the state. In fact, I even like that the southern governors, they're not even listening to them. They are not listening to them at all. They are all about, let us protect our own. Since the federal government cannot protect the Nigeria, at least let's protect our own people. Kudos to those that have signed the anti-open bill into law. Kudos, in short, they should be applauded. They have tried. The first thing, the primary thing that you exist to do as a governor is to protect your people's lives and property first, before even any other thing comes into light. I hope that other states join in signing the anti-open grazing bill, and I also hope that this case is won by the southern governors in courts, if the Miyetti and last use them to court, really. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you.